1.
बोलिए लाडली लाल की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर् गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। नमः कमलना भाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमल पादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वंह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Dear devotees of God, we're going to sing from page 19 in the old book. The bhajan is Gahore Man Sham Charan Sharanai. I'll be explaining this most beautiful devotional song. Once again, page number is 19. गहोरे मन श्याम चरण शरणाई
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 अंत समय को कामना आई है
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 मात पिता सुत भाई गहोरे मन
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 श्याम चरण शरणाई गहोरे मन
श्याम चरण शरणाई गहोरे मन
काम क्रोध अरु लोभ मोह मद
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 इन सो कछु न इन सो कछु न बसाई गहोरे मन
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 श्याम चरण शरणाई गहोरे मन
श्याम चरण शरणाई गहोरे मन
यह जग मृग तृष्णा सम दीखत
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 सुख लवलेश न पाई गहो रे मन
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 श्याम चरण शरणाई 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 गहो रे मन
धन यौवन तन धन यौवन तन छन भंगुर सब
धन यौवन तन छन भंगुर सब
छन भंगुर सब
छन भंगुर सब
धन यौवन तन छन भंगुर सब
धन यौवन तन छन भंगुर सब
जो कपूर उड़ी जाए गहो रे मन
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 श्याम चरण शरणाई गहो रे मन
श्याम चरण शरणाई गहो रे मन
बहुरी कृपालु बहुरी कृपालु ना नर तनु पाई
बहुरी कृपालु ना नरतनु पाइय
बहुरी कृपालु बहुरी कृपालु ना नरतनु पाइय
बहुरी कृपालुना नरतनु पाइय
बिगड़ी ले हूँ बनाए गहोरे मन
बिगरी ले हो बनाए गहोरे मन
बिगड़ी ले हूँ बनाए गहोरे मन
बिगरी ले हो बनाए गहोरे मन
श्याम चरण शरणाए गहोरे मन
श्याम चरण शरणाय गहोरे मन
श्याम चरण शरणाए गहोरे मन
श्याम चरण शरणाय गहोरे मन
A sadhak, an aspiring devotee, is addressing his mind. He is saying, "O my mind, gahore man Sham charan sharanai." O my mind, surrender to Sham Sundar's lotus feet. Surrender to God. Surrender to Sri Krishna. First question is, why speak to the mind? Can the mind hear anything? Does the mind perform the work of listening? And even a child will say, no, it's not the mind that hears. The ears perform the function of hearing. It's with our ears that we hear. Even a child knows that. So why is the mind being addressed? It's because the mind has all the 5 senses of perception, 5 indriya, jnanendriya, through which we experience this world, by seeing it, hearing it, tasting it, touching it, and smelling it. Through our sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch, we experience the world every day. The mind has all the 5 senses included in it. And indeed, it's not the ears that hear, it's actually the mind that hears. When we are awake, we say, oh, I'm seeing this thing, it's beautiful. This piece of art, it's beautiful. This vase that you have, it's really pretty. We appreciate the beauty of an object. But even when we get up from our dreams, we say, you know, I saw this beautiful thing. I think it was like a vase, and it was so beautiful. And the dream is so vivid. So our eyes were closed at that time. We were dreaming, we were sleeping, and we were dreaming. How did we see that beautiful thing? It's because the mind has the eyes included in it, so we are able to see in our dreams The mind is seeing, and we listen to, let's say, a song, and we say, that song is really beautiful. You know that Premaras Madirapad, that's so beautiful. I heard it, and I just can't get it out of my mind. It's so beautiful. But we do the same thing in our dreams. We hear. In my dreams, I heard my grandfather talk to me, and it was so vivid. I could just hear his voice. But you know, he's deceased, but I heard him. How did we hear anything in our dreams? Simple, because the mind has ears included in it. So the mind can see and hear and taste, touch, and smell. It can do everything that the sense organs can do. In fact, without the mind being present, the senses, these 5 senses of sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch, these sense organs, eyes, ears, tongue, skin, and nose, through which we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, they cannot perform their respective functions. If the mind is elsewhere, we fail to see someone standing in before us. If the mind is elsewhere, we cannot taste that rasgulla. And everyone is praising it. You've got to eat this rasgulla. It's that nice Bengali rasgulla. Here, taste it. You taste it, but your mind is elsewhere, and so you don't even taste it. You don't smell anything, you can't see anything, you can't hear anything, you can't taste anything if your mind is somewhere else. Or if the mind is grieving, if there's a lot of sadness in the mind, if the mind is absent, we say, I'm absent-minded, my mind is not here, it's somewhere else, so we can't see, hear, taste, touch, or smell the world. So very wisely, the aspiring devotee, the sadhak, is saying, oh my mind, listen, surrender to Sri Krishna, surrender to God. It's of no use to tell the ears. We hear so much using our ears, but if the mind is not present, then that hearing is of no use. We listen to so much knowledge, but if our mind is somewhere else, if it's not receptive, we don't understand anything. And the Guru says, but I've explained this to you 10 times already. I didn't understand it. As long as the mind is not paying attention, listening with the ears will not do anything for us. So the mind is being addressed, Gahore man Shyam Charan Sharanai. Surrender to Sri Krishna's lotus feet. Now the mind asks, why? Why should I do that? Because you see, karanena bina karyam na kadachana vidyate. Yoga Shikhopanishad. And similarly, Tripad Vibhuti Narayano Panishad says, Karanena bina karyam no deti. Meaning is the same. And in fact, there's one more verse from elsewhere, and it says, Prayojana manuddishya mandopi na pravartate. Darshan Shastra says. These 3 testimonies from scriptures mean the same thing, and that is that no one does anything without a purpose. So we ask the mind, go ahead and go to Sri Krishna and surrender to him. In other words, adore him, love him, accept him as yours. What does surrender mean? It means adore him, love him, accept him as your own. The mind asks, why? I have been adoring the world. I adore my mother, my father, my wife or my husband, my children. I adore my money. I adore my house. I have so many things that are adorable. I adore my dog. My dog is adorable. I adore the world. You're asking me to adore Sri Krishna? Why? So we must give good answers to the mind, and so the answers are being given. There's more than one answer. It will take a lot to convince the mind. The mind that has accepted the world as its everything will need to be convinced in many ways. So Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj says, he gives one reason, Ant samay ko kaam na ai hai, Maat Pita Sut Bhai. The ones you call your own, your parents, your children, your siblings, they're my own. They're my nearest and dearest ones. The ones you call your own flesh and blood, you call them your nearest and dearest ones. They are intimately related to you, but you know, oh my mind, they will not be with you when you, meaning the soul, when you leave the body. After death, the ones you call your own, they will not accompany you after death. So then who will go with you? It is only one. There's only one personality who will go with you, and that is Shri Krishna, God. God is the only one who will go with you. So now surrender to Him, adore Him, love Him, because He is your one and only. The ones who accept themselves, the self to be the soul, they say, Mata nasti pita nasti, nasti me swajano jana. These are the words of Prahlad recorded in Skanda Puran by Bhagwan Vedavyas. Prahlad says, Mata nasti, I have no mother. Pita nasti, I have no father. Except for God, I have no mother, I have no father, I have no relative. No one belongs to me. No one, I have no relations anywhere in the world. God is my one and only. Tajyo pita Prahlad vibhishan bandhu bharat mahatari. Bali guru tajyo kant braj banitani bhe sab mangalkari. Tulsidas ji says in Vinay Patrika. The great ones that we consider to be great, Tajyo Pita Prahlad. Prahlad, for one, he renounced his father. He did not accept his father to be his father. Tajyo Pita Prahlad. Vibhishan Bandhu. Vibhishan renounced his brother, elder brother, Ravan. And scriptures say that an older brother is like father. And mother and father should be regarded as divinity. Regard mother and father as divinity unto you. Matri devo bhava, pitri devo bhava. But Tajyo Pita Prahlad, Prahlad renounced his father. Vibhishan renounced his brother. Bharat renounced his mother, Kaikeyi. The gopis renounced their husbands, but in favor of God. I will not go through the reasons, I think most of you know, but the fact is that these personalities, they accepted God, and for special reasons, they renounced their family members. And even if they had accepted them, they did not accept them from the heart. They thought, these are relatives of the body. They are related to me, but only at the physical level. But I am not the body. I am not the sharir. I am shariri. I am something that lives inside the body. I am the Atma, which is a divine part and parcel of God. So the only one who belongs to me is the one who is known as Paramatma, the soul of all souls. I am the soul, so someone from the world, people of the world cannot belong to me. Only God belongs to me. We accept the self to be the body, so we say and we think, this is my mother, this is my father, these are my siblings, this is my spouse, these are my children. And not only do we say this, but we accept them to be ours. But Adi Shankaracharya asks us a question. He poses this question. Katinam sutana lalita, kativa neha vadhura bhunjihi, kvanute kvanutascha vavayam, bhavasangha khalupantha sangamah. You know, we should not only be thinking about trivial matters. We should be thinking about deep matters. We should not only be thinking about matters that pertain to this physical body. We should be thinking about matters that pertain to us, to the soul. So Adi Shankaracharya poses a question that forces us to go deeply and find an answer. He makes us aware of who we are. He says, you have lived uncountable lives. And he says elsewhere, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. You are born again and again you die, again and again you're reborn. So think about who you are. You have had uncountable lives, and in those uncountable lives you've had unlimited relatives. How many mothers have you had? How many fathers? How many children? How many spouses? How many siblings? And he asks the question, where are they now? Kahan hai wo sab? Where are they now? Do we know? We don't have any idea. We are accustomed to thinking about relationships that last one lifetime at the most. At the most. And that's not a certainty. Because people break off. And I don't mean only by getting a divorce, but people break off like a child separates from father and mother, from his parents. He goes to the judge, he goes to the courts, and he says, I don't want to be associated with my parents anymore. Or it could be two brothers, it could be siblings. People separate from one another. Sometimes they make it legal. Oftentimes they make it legal. We're not a couple anymore. We are uncoupling, new terminology that is used these days. Conscious uncoupling. What is that? Oh, we're getting a divorce. It just sounds better to say conscious uncoupling. So, at the most, we are accustomed to having relationships that last one lifetime at the most. But कोई भरोसा नहीं, बीच में भी छोड़ देते हैं, छूट जाता है. Sometimes death brings an end to that relationship, and sometimes consciously we put an end to it. But if we think deeply about this, then we would realize, if we have any faith in the scriptures and saints, in God, if we have any faith in God, we would try to realize that I'm the Atma, I'm the soul, and only God can be mine, because no one belongs to me. I've had so many mothers, so many fathers, but I don't know where they are. So next time I'm born, will I know these ones that I'm calling my own? The ones I cry for, the ones I grieve for, the ones I'm so upset about and I worry about so much. The mother says, Mera beta, mera beta, mera beta. Hi, mera beta, hi, mera beta. Oh, my child, what will become of my child? And in a few years, when she dies, she's reborn, she doesn't know who the beta is. She doesn't remember him. She doesn't remember that child. The ones we grieve for, the ones we cry all life long for, we won't know them in the future. So the wise ones think deeply, they go deeply, and they accept what the scriptures are saying, Shabda Praman, the words of God. They believe those words, because after all, we have so much faith in the world. We believe everything we hear. We believe everything we hear. Shri Maharaj used to say that you believe the world so much, you have so much faith in the world, you have gambled in the world so much, you have looked towards the world again and again, you wanted to make the world your own, you wanted to look for happiness, and you gambled in the world, and your gamble did not pay off even once. So Shri Maharaj used to say, but beautiful words, ek bar satta idhar bhi khel lo. He used to say, take a gamble with God and Guru, just once. See what happens. See if that gamble pays off. But we have been gambling in the world, accepting the world to be ours. Every day we think the same thing. Although we may not be consciously thinking about it, it's in the back of the mind that these people, my family members, they are mine. These 4, 5, 10, 20 people, these are my own. And I don't care what happens to the rest of the world, but if something happens to one of these, then I don't think I can live any longer. I don't think I can survive. I don't know what will become of me. So the ones we are so attached to, we will not know them in the future. This is something we need to think about. We need to think about this. After all, as Sri Maharaj used to say, after all, you're human. You must think. You have a very developed mind. So think about this. Animals cannot think like this. Birds and insects and plants and trees don't have the capacity to think such thoughts, but humans do have the capacity. So think about it. So the ones you call your own, oh my mind, they will not accompany you after death. And this is something you need to pay attention to. So Shri Krishna alone is yours. And so that's why you need to love him. Love him because he alone is yours. Adore him. Cry for him. Live for him, die for him. Jeete marte jo teri lagan mein. Jalte rehte virah ki agan mein. You recognize these words from Lakho Mehfil Jahan Mein Yun To. So live for him, die for him, laugh thinking of him, cry thinking of him. He's your one and only. He's your mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, beloved, everything rolled into one. Divyo Deva Eko Narayano Mata Pita Bhrata Nivasa Sharanam Suhrit Gatir Narayana Iti Subalopanishad. Chapter 6, mantra number 4. He is your one and only mother, father, brother, shelter, the only destination. This is why, oh my mind, you should surrender to Shri Krishna. This is why you should love him and adore him. The mind says, I want to know more. So, Kam, Krodh, Aru, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Inso, Kachu na basai. The vices that trouble you so much, O my mind, the vices such as desire, anger, greed, attachment, pride, all these vices are vices of Maya. They are byproducts of Maya because we are under the control of the deluding potency of God known as Maya. We suffer from anger, greed, hatred, pride, and the other vices. We suffer from them, they torment us greatly. Let's say you're sitting in your room, maybe in your living room, somewhere in the house, and you're relaxing. And suddenly, a desire comes into your mind. Desire. Rasgulla khana chahiye. Where did this come from? I should eat a rasgulla. Where did the desire for rasgulla come from? And you think to yourself, I don't know, but okay, you go back to just relaxing. The mind says, rasgulla do, leke aao. The mind does not let up. It says, I want a rasgulla. When the desire comes, you cannot be sitting there. You can't be relaxing. You don't have a rasgulla in your fridge or in your pantry. You don't have the can of rasgullas. You don't know, you're not going to be able to make them. You don't know how to make them. Stores are closed. Whatever. You cannot have rasgullas. You cannot get a rasgulla. So what happens is that desire torments you. It torments you and say, what about a donut? No, rasgulla. Only rasgulla. And that desire for a small little thing, it just bothers us so much. Or you're not really desiring anything and you see an ad and you say, I gotta have that. I don't know why I don't have it. I don't know why I never thought of it. But I must have it. My life is incomplete without it. I must have it. The desire is born, it will not let you rest. And because of desire, anger will come when you're frustrated because you can't get what you want. Then anger comes. Or greed comes because you get what you want, but then soon the mind wants more and more and more. So you become greedy, and that torments the mind. Anger, greed, hatred, pride, these are vices that truly torment the mind. And who wants to be tormented? We want peace of mind. Even if it's a multi-billionaire, she says, I just want peace of mind. मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए, मुझे बस शांति चाहिए. I just want peace. How do we get that peace? Unless we surrender to Bhagwan, how can we get that peace? There is no substitute. There's no pill that you can pop to get that peace of mind. There is nothing there's no lasting, everlasting, there's no lasting medication There's nothing that can get rid of these vices from the mind. You can't sign them away. Sometimes, when you go to certain big temples in India, the priest there will show you a register and say, now you've come all the way from America, you've come to India, and now you should give up something. You should renounce something. What have other people renounced in the past? Well, a fellow just came in yesterday, he gave up his anger. Oh, he did? Well, he gave it up, but when he went outside, he saw somebody had made a dent in his car. He was really angry. But you said he signed it away. He did, but he forgot. You sign away your anger, sign away your greed, sign away your pride. It can't be done. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The only way to get rid of these vices is to get rid of Maya. Some people say, well, I don't have any anger. You have no anger? You're divine? No, I'm not divine, but I don't have anger. I'm greedy, but I don't get angry. No, sir. If you're greedy, you are angry also. You have anger. You have anger, greed, hatred, pride. Everything is there. Either you have none of them, then you're a saint. You're God realized. Or you have all of them. You cannot get rid of one and keep the others, or you get rid of 2 or 3 and the rest are there. It doesn't work like that because their mother is Maya. As long as Maya is controlling the mind, all these vices are going to torment the mind. The only one who can order Maya to go away is Bhagwan. Joi bandhe, soi chore, says Tulsidas ji in Ramcharit Manas. Joi bandhe, soi chore. Only the Lord of Maya can tell Maya, hey Maya, get away from this one because he has surrendered to me. Now no longer will you torment him. Do you hear me? And Maya says, yes, my Lord, I will no longer bother him. I cannot dare to go near him because he is surrendered to you. So Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Devi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya meva ye prapadyante maya metan tarantite. Chapter 7, verse 14, Bhagwan says, O Arjun, this Maya is not an ordinary power. It is my power, Mama Maya. Therefore, it is as powerful as I am. I have enabled this Maya. I have given it all my powers. My power has empowered Maya, and now Maya is as powerful as I am. And no one can conquer Maya. No one can conquer Maya by himself. The only way to conquer Maya is to surrender to me. When you surrender to me, then I shall order Maya to go away from you. There's no other way. There's no substitute. There's no other way. There's no choice over here. So, oh my mind, understand this, that you are tormented by diseases of Maya, and the only way you can get well is by surrendering to Shri Krishna's soft, infinitely soft lotus feet. And the mind starts to think, okay, let me chew on this. Let me think about this. Let's see. But then we give another reason is given to surrender to Shri Krishna. Yah jag mrig trishna samdikhat sukh lavlesh na pai. The material world is a mirage, mrig trishna, containing not even a trace of true happiness. The mind is always looking for happiness. There are no exceptions to the rule. Everyone is searching for happiness. We are searching for happiness when we are sitting. When we are standing, we are searching for happiness. We are laying down, we are searching for happiness. In the waking state, we are searching for happiness. In the dream state, we are searching for happiness. Every time, no matter what we are doing, we're doing it for one reason, and that is to be happy. Why do you come to satsang? You'll say, to be happy, it gives me happiness to attend satsang. Why do you listen to bhajans and kirtans? Because it makes me happy. Why do you eat? And why do you sometimes push the plate of food away? For the same reason. Sometimes eating makes me happy, sometimes not eating makes me happy. Why do you laugh and why do you cry? For the same reason, for happiness. You got married 5 years ago. Yes. Why did you get married? To be happy. And now you have put a notice in the newspapers, you are consciously uncoupling. Why are you doing that? For happiness. All the mutually contradictory activities that we are performed for one reason, and that is for happiness. So, oh my mind, do you think you can find happiness in the world? The mind says, of course. Yes. Yes. When I eat my favorite food, I've become happy. You can't tell me, you can't convince me that that's not happiness. When I play with my child or when I play with my grandchildren, I am so happy, I feel so happy. You can't tell me that's not happiness. I found a ring on the road the other day, and that ring turned out to be very precious. Turns out it cost $1,000, so you can't tell me I'm not happy looking at that ring. I'm really happy. I bought a boat recently, and that just gives me so much happiness. So I look at the boat. In fact, I called it happiness. My boat is called happiness. Because it makes me so happy. I look at it and I say, oh, I'm so happy. So the mind says, I am happy. I'm not looking for happiness. I am happy. But you're still looking for happiness. Yes, I'm still looking. Although I'm happy with all these things, but I don't know why, I'm still looking for happiness. You're right. I'm looking for happiness. Do you know why? No. So we have to explain to the mind. We have to give reasons to the mind, and that's the whole purpose of this beautiful devotional song, Gahore Man, because we need to give reasons to the mind. We can't just tell the mind, hey, go and surrender. Why? I'm not going to do it just because you ask me to. Just because you tell me to. Reasons have to be given. So the mind has to be told, look, you're looking for happiness in the world, but this world is like a mirage. It seems like there's happiness here. You go towards the east direction. You go towards the east and you think there's happiness there. And you go there, oh, it was only a mirage. It wasn't real happiness. What was in the east? There was a mansion. I purchased it. And I thought there was going to be a lot of happiness. But now I find I can't even afford it because the property tax is too much. I didn't think about all that. And then, I'm just, it's a huge mansion. The upkeep is too much. And there's so many problems. And I don't have that dream job anymore. So now that mansion, I didn't get happiness from it. I'm going to go in the west direction. I'm going to travel towards the west. What's over there? There is family and friends. They're going to make me happy. And yet, I'm not finding real happiness there either. I'm not really finding happiness. Too many quarrels, too many fights, too many disagreements. I said something very innocently, and my brother just chewed me out, and he said, how dare you say this? I don't know what I said, and I'm so disappointed. I didn't find happiness there. I'm going to go towards the north. What's there? I'm fed up with people. I'm going to get a couple of pets. Dog's going to make me happiness. Dog is going to make me happy. I always think that, we become dyslexic, spiritually dyslexic. The scriptures say love God because God is happiness, and what we have been thinking is, the scriptures are saying dog is happiness. So I'm fed up with people, but I'm going to look towards dogs and cats. They're going to give me happiness. So many people, have you not heard them? And I don't know if you're one of them, but they say, my dog is just my baby. My dog is going to give me my dog makes me so happy. My dog loves me unconditionally, right? So I'm going to look towards the north. But what happened? My dog bit me. Didn't give me happiness. Gave me a bite, a nasty bite. So I got, put that dog up for adoption. I'm going to go towards the south now. So what are you going to look for? I'm going to look somewhere else. And we've been looking in all directions, all directions. We did not find happiness. Oh, my mind, in countless lives, you did not find true happiness. That's why, even now, you're not happy. You're finding little joys and pleasures, but you're not finding happiness that satisfies, right? The mind says, I suppose, I guess. But maybe one day I'll find it. No, you won't. If you didn't find it in uncountable lives, do you think you'll find it now? It's not possible. Tasmat dukkhatmakam nasti naiva kinchit sukhatmakam. Vishnu Puran says the world is neither a source of happiness nor a source of misery. So be detached from the world. There's no happiness here, but there's no misery here. So be neutral. जैसे कबीरा खड़ा बाजार में सबकी मांगे खैर ना काहूसों दोस्ती ना काहूसों बैर. No love, no hatred. Just neutral. I don't love the world, says Sant Kabir, because it doesn't give me happiness. So why should I love it? I don't hate it because it doesn't give me grief either. It doesn't give me misery. The world is not a source of misery either. So be neutral in the world. Jagason rahun udas, Sri Maharaj Ji has said. Udas, udasin, neutral. No love, no hatred. So the world is like a mirage. It seems like there's great happiness, but when you start tasting that happiness, you find that it's not true because it leaves you still dissatisfied. It still leaves you incomplete. You're still looking for something else. Happiness is an elusive butterfly that we just can't seem to capture. And we keep on trying, we keep on trying. And oh my mind, another reason is dhan, yavan, tan, chan bhangur sab, jo kapur udi jai. In this world, what do you have? You have some amount of wealth, and you have youth, you have life itself, but these are all temporary. Why be so proud of them? Why be attached to them? And they disappear like camphor disappears. Camphor disappears when kept in the open. In the same way, these three things, dhan, yavan, tan. Dhan, wealth, yavan, youth, tan, life, body. They're all temporary. They disappear like camphor. Siddhartha was a prince, and it was prophesied that he would either become a great emperor or an ascetic. His father, the king, said, I don't want him to become an ascetic. I don't want him to renounce the world. I want him to be a great, great king and great emperor. So he tried every which way that he could to, and he was told that his son, when he sees old age, when he sees sickness, when he sees death, then he will turn away from the world. So the king tried his best to prevent his son, Siddhartha, from seeing old age, disease, and death. But how long could he prevent that? How long could he protect him from that? So Siddhartha saw an old man, and he had never seen an old man. He was being driven in a chariot. He was out just taking a tour of the kingdom, and he saw an old man. And he asked his chariot driver, why is a man walking like this? He was told that this man is old. He's doubled over. So he's old. And Siddhartha started thinking, will I become old one day? And he asked, and his charioteer said, yes, yes, prince, you will also become old one day. Then he saw a woman who was very, very ill, and he said, why is she looking like that? She's very sick. Oh, what is sickness? He had never seen that. And then he saw a funeral procession, and he asked, what is this? Someone has died. Died? What does that mean? Well, death comes to everyone. Will it come to me as well? Yes, it will, gentle prince. So knowing about old age, death, and disease, Siddhartha turned away from the world. He became a renunciate, and he's now known as Mahatma Buddha. He's known as the Buddha. Just realizing that the body will go one day, and as long as it's intact, it will be ravaged by disease. It will be. And wealth that we are so proud of, it's why be proud of it, because it will also disappear. Wealth is, कहते हैं ना, Lakshmi chanchal hoti hai. One day it's with you, next day it's gone from you, it's gone to someone else. So why be proud of something that you may not have tomorrow? And that is dhan, yavan, tan. There was a woman who in her youth was extremely beautiful. Now she's old and she cannot stand straight. She walks with the help of a stick. And she was going somewhere. She was crossing the road. And the young man he mocked her. He said, Nani, did you lose something? You're looking for it, searching for it? And she understood that he was mocking her, and he was a young man. He had the pride of youth. She said, son, I did lose something. What is it? Can I help you find it? She said, I've lost my youth. I've lost my youth, and I'm looking for it. And one day, son, you will also lose it. He was mocking her, but everyone loses their youth. If death does not come before that, we all become old. So this body is temporary, youth is temporary, wealth is temporary, and yet running after these three, we are stuck in this world. We keep ourselves stuck in this world. Oh, my mind, go towards the eternal. Go towards that which you will never lose. Go towards eternal happiness, unending and unlimited happiness, ever-increasing happiness. Don't get yourself stuck to this material world that offers only temporary things. And don't be proud of these temporary acquisitions. Bahuri kripalu na nar tanu paiya bigari lehu banai. Jagat Guru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj says, "O my mind, human birth is rare. So immediately strive to attain divine bliss by surrendering to Shyam Sundar. You have this opportunity, O my mind, and this opportunity is very rare." Now, I realize that you've all heard this before. I realize that. Sometimes I can tell by the reaction. Yeah, I've heard it before. True, I realize nothing new under the sun, right? But it is very important to listen to the same thing again and again. Because we're not always listening carefully. You may say, I've heard it 100 times, but the fact is, unless you have accepted it, you have not heard it properly. Unless we have accepted what we have heard, we need to hear it again. It may be for the 100th time, it may be for the 1000th time. It may be that you heard it 1,000,000 times, but you need to hear it one more time, right? So this is nothing new under the sun for many of you, very learned people, but it needs to be heard again. Sri Maharaji says, in the words of Sri Maharaji, Bahuri kripalu nanar tanu paiya. You become so complacent that I'm a human, I'll be a human again. If I don't get it done in this life, next time I have this opportunity. But no, the scriptures say otherwise. The scriptures say that it is very, very difficult to secure the human birth. Bade bhagan manush tanu pava sur durlabh sadgranth nigava kabahu kari karuna nar dehi det ish binu hetu sanehi. It is very difficult to secure the human birth. So while you have it, take this opportunity and do what you're here to do. You are here on a very, very important mission. That mission is to surrender to Shyam Sundar. Oh, my mind, do you not realize what your mission is? Don't be sidetracked. Don't be thinking that my mission is to earn a lot of money. My mission is to make a name for myself in the world. My mission is to become a CEO of a company. My mission is to get so much name and fame. My mission is to have hundreds of friends. My mission is to become a multi-billionaire. Examine your desires. What is that going to give you? What is all this going to give you, oh my mind? Will it give you lasting happiness, everlasting happiness? Will it give you what you're looking for? No. Listen to what God has said in the scriptures. Listen to what saints have explained. Because you see, we are accustomed to listening only to our mind. Whatever our mind says, we accept it. The mind says, stay up all night. So what? Tomorrow you can get up late, but sadhana is at 5 o'clock. So attendance is taken or what? No, attendance is not taken. But I think I should be here for 5 a.m. I mean, what's the purpose of me coming to a retreat but so what? I mean, nobody will miss you, just one day. Just, have fun, just talk all night and do whatever, just have fun. Go to bed late tonight and you don't have to be here for 5 o'clock. You don't have to do that. And we are convinced easily by the mind. Sure. I won't go to sleep till late, yeah. I'll just have fun. My friends are here. We'll talk a lot. Doesn't matter what the rules are. Doesn't matter, so what? So what? We shrug our shoulders, so what? The mind is saying this, so what? But so the philosophy of the scriptures, instructions of saints, the mind overrides them, right? The mind overrides them. How many times Sri Maharaj Ji himself had to scold the devotees lovingly? That you people leave when I leave the hall, Maharaj Ji used to say. When I leave, because Maharaj Ji's schedule was different, and he would say, most of you leave the hall when I leave. And he would be so saddened by that Guru's instruction means nothing to you. Scriptures don't mean anything to you. Sri Maharaj Ji would say that. He would scold lovingly. With so much love, he would scold because he cared. So the mind says, it doesn't matter what's going on. You don't have to be part of it. You can miss it for a day. But you know what happens is, you can miss sadhana for a day. Then the mind says, you can miss it for a week. Then the mind says, you can miss it for a year. Then the mind says, get it done next time around. And we keep listening to the mind. My mind says this. We often say, so-and-so prevented me from going to satsang. Actually, no. It's our mind. My mind prevented me from going to satsang. My mind prevents me from surrendering to Sri Krishna. So, oh my mind, understand the truth of scriptures. And do not just be so independent that you are not going to listen to what scriptures are saying. You have suffered in countless lifetimes, in countless ways. So, oh my mind, gaho re man, oh my mind, gaho sham charan sharanai. Surrender to the soft, infinitely soft lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Adore Sri Krishna, love him, cry for him, live for him, die for him. Because he is your one and only. And that is a brief explanation of Gahore Man Sham Charan Sharanai. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj ki Jai. Boliye Prem Ras Madira ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.